So do you know that when Israel made the golden calf and transgressed the 10 Commandments, they actually thought they were pleasing God? They were doing an idolatry. They made a graven image. They were doing a complete abomination. And they called it a feast to the Lord. And Aaron enabled it. And there's nothing new under the sun. And it's exactly what the Christian church is doing today. It's exactly what you're doing today if you're doing Christmas and Easter and all these things under the guise of, oh, God knows my heart. My pastor told me it was all right. So I'm going to read Exodus 32 until I get up to the part that I'm talking about. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in your ears, and the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off their golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation, and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early on the morrow, and offered burnt offerings. Day dawning, right? That's when a day starts, right? And they rose up early on the morrow. They woke up, and the day had started. That's one for Judah. And offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink, and rose up to play. So doesn't this seem pretty stupid? You know, they just received a very clear and a very specific commandment. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image of any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that's in earth beneath, or anything that's in the water under earth. It's very specific and very clear. And then they go off and this is one of the first things they do. Yeah, it is stupid, right? But you can't sit there and think that that's stupid when you do the exact same thing. They're doing this abomination, and all the while they're calling it a feast of the Lord. And yes, it's capital L. You know, make no mistake. They thought it was a feast to God. It's ironic and it's sad. This is exactly what the church is doing today with their pagan feasts. Christmas and Easter and all the like. Okay, just like Aaron did, your wicked pastors enable these abominations. They call good evil and evil good. Right? They, you know, and you people just love to have it so. You think you're delivered to do these abominations. And you'll say things like, oh, God knows my heart. My church makes it all about Jesus. Or this is the one. I'm not worshipping the tree. You know, yeah, we cut a tree out of the forest, deck it with gold and silver, fasten it with nails that it moves not. But I'm not worshipping it. That's not what Jeremiah 10 is talking about. That's not what Psalm 135 tells you makes you deaf. It makes you so that you don't have eyes to see. That's not like what the Epistle of Jeremiah says that people leave presents under. That's not the Christmas tree. That's what you guys say. You justify it in your hearts. Oh, this is all about God. This is all about God to me. Yeah, I'm doing a pay. And the thing is, half of you know that it's a pagan abomination. Don't learn the ways of the heathen was the very clear instruction of God. Always was, always has been. It's the sin that leads to death, idolatry. And you guys honestly think, oh, in my heart, it's all about God. God knows my heart. Yeah, God knows your wicked heart. God does know your heart. You're supposed to fear and tremble at His word. You're doing exactly what Israel did. There's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. And this is exactly what Paul warned you about in Romans 11. right? He's talking about the grafting in, the importance of being grafted into the olive tree. And he says, don't boast against the natural branches. Yeah, you're able to be grafted in now because Israel messed up. Israel transgressed, and that's part of the good news. Even the Gentiles can be saved. His yoke is easy, his burden is light again. This is the refreshing, but they would not hear. He refreshed the holy covenant and got rid of the sacrificial law, which was added because of transgressions in Galatians 3:19. And that's the good news. But don't boast. Because of unbelief, they were broken off. He says, so don't be high-minded, but fear. He says, if God didn't spare the natural branches, but he cut them off, take heed that he also spares you not. So go and look what Israel did in 2 Kings 17. That's just one place where you get a good one-chapter summary of the idolatry and the abominations they did. So stop playing the harlot towards God just like they did. Because what does Paul say? If you don't continue in goodness, likewise you'll be cut off. He says, don't do what they did to get cut off, because how much sooner will you be cut off? Your unnatural branch is grafted in contrary to nature. Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. They would have been saying the same crap that you guys are saying, just in their own tongue, in the Hebrew tongue. They would have been saying things along the lines of, this is all about God. God knows our heart. We just missed Moses. We're going to put up this golden calf. He hates it. He said, I'm a jealous God. Make no other gods before me. But you guys really think you're delivered to do these abominations. Listen to Jeremiah 7. This is to the house of Israel, aka the Christian church, because the northern kingdom, the house of Israel, was dispersed and then scattered to the four corners of the earth, and their remembrance was to cease from them. This is to the Christian church. Behold, Jeremiah 7, verse 8, you trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will ye steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other gods whom ye knew not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do abominations? We are delivered to do these abominations? Will you say that? Will you say because Yeshua died that you can do these abominations? You can have other gods all of a sudden now? Are you counting his blood, which would have sanctified you, as an unholy thing? Calling grace unmerited favor and saying you're allowed to do these things? Matthew 12 quotes Jeremiah 23. Every idle word. Stop doing these things. Hosea 4:6. My people will burn for their lack of knowledge. Because you rejected knowledge, God will reject you also. Christmas just passed. If you took any part in that, repent. That might have been your last Christmas before the world ends as we know it. Easter's coming up. Stay well away. If you have a wife, if you're unevenly yoked to a wife, I see this a lot. Don't let her bring any Christmas into the house. Don't be an Ahab. Who would you rather have, Yeshua or your wife? So if you don't make the right choice, you're not even worthy of being his disciple. Don't let your family, your mother, your grandmother, anyone, no Christmas anywhere near you, no Easter anywhere near you this year. It might be your last chance to show God that you repented and that you truly love him more than anything else. Go and learn this.